Hey, it's your boy, Sergeant Hooked on Heroes, recording from my bedroom this time. It's a little too cold out in the garage to record right now. Um, but regardless, we are talking about, of course, Kamen Geats, episode 10. This episode was a lot of fun, and it was the, jumpstart of the next, arc where we're going with the story. Another round of the DGP, introduced a few new characters. Some of them didn't stick around more than the episode they're introduced in. And kind of started following up on some plot points and things like that. Um, and just like a preface to this a little bit, I'm currently getting over like a goofy throat, nasty, phlegmy cough cold. So if I have to like stop myself from coughing or cough a little bit and then get back into review, I do apologize. I'm almost done with it. Got some awesome Mucinex medicine to get it out of me. So we're getting there, but that's probably why I sound a little goofy. It's episode 10. New round has started, and Ace's wish is that the DGP staff that he knows of, anyway, is his family now. I'm guessing just so he can screw with them a little bit, or also, honestly, probably so he can get a little closer to them to figure out more about how it works and how to find his own mom. But literally, like the game master guy who somehow keeps saying that he's Drury and acting like he's not the game master, even though last episode we just got that revealed. Maybe when it resets, he thinks everybody's memory reset and it didn't. I don't know. But he's the dad. Sumuri is Ace's sister, which she despises, of course. And Ace has a really good question, though. He says that he wonders who decides who can be eligible to be a rider, to be a contestant in the DGP. And Sumuri answers him saying it's the game master only. Like I said, for some reason, Jory's acting as though nobody knows he's game master. Maybe everybody's memory was reset, but I would assume now that Geats has his belt back and his ID core, that he's good. And I want to say that Sumuri mentioned, maybe I'm wrong, but I thought she had mentioned, because she pulled out like some previous wishes of Ace's, that I want to say she mentioned that a previous one of his was to remain in the DGP. So I wonder if that was a thing, and that he's doing that for now so that he can, again, keep looking into it and figuring out how to find his mom. We also get a quick shot. He's walking through the city, and we see not only Keiwa, who seems happy, all of a sudden doesn't want Tanuki soba, he wants sushi, and seems to be the same person mostly, but it would seem that when you lose a round of the DGP and you don't get your wish fulfilled, that it like resets your memory of having that wish, therefore like a piece of you is kind of gone. So you're pretty much the same, but not really. So he's still like a decent person, but he's kind of lost like the reason he was kind of doing anything, like he was before, wanting world peace and everybody to be happy and whatever. We also see new contestants join, who I'm just going to call the repaint riders, because I don't even know what their rider names are or anything. And it's a Mary and Ginpen repaints. And it's a young girl and this old man who takes over the Ginpen one, just like an owl, basically. The young girl gets defeated in her first match and instantly just done. Michinaga is part of it again. He gets approached to be a rider, instantly gets his memories back. He's about to get what's it called? Autograph from Ace, and then he touches the driver in his ID core and he's like, I don't want an autograph from you. Like that. Also, Michinaga throughout this episode is still himself, but he seems to kind of be taking on sort of the role of Keiwa, where he's kind of like checking in on people. There's a moment in between rounds before the girls defeated where he asks them why their wish is important to them and why they're going for it. And they talk about it a little bit. She wants to like lose weight, I guess, for some reason. And he wants to remain young. He wants to be young again. And so he's like, well, whatever your wishes are, you have to fight for them. Like, there's nobody that's going to just give them to you. You need to fight for your wishes. And I like that. I like that he didn't shoot down their wishes. He instead was just like, well, if that's what your wish is, you got to, actually move forward towards making it happen, So, he seems a little less angsty, which is very odd. I don't know how to understand. He doesn't dismiss them. It was very weird, because he would do that with Keiwa. Every time Keiwa would bring up the whole, wanting world peace and people to be happy and blah, 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 he'd be like, pfft. And so we also see Neon having a normal life with her mom, and her dad's played by Time Fire, so you actually see the actor who played Time Fire. I actually see her dad for once instead of just the mom. And she eventually joins, and we do get Nago Beats form, so she has the Beats buckle, and it looks great, and the fight is really cool. I love the little henshin sequence where she's playing the little buttons on it. It's really cool to have this like impressive of like a a buckle that has that much like intricate things it can do on it, and both in how it henshins and how it does its finishers and attacks for a female rider. We don't get that a lot with female riders. They don't usually get really cool, impressive stuff. I mean, Sakura got some pretty neat stuff from last season, but she's like, she's an outset. Like she's an anomaly compared to most female riders who don't get a lot. So I like that. She is, of course, her wish is again about true love. So, and yeah, so most of it is really just kind of setting things back up again. Like I said, some really interesting little back and forth between certain characters. And Sumori, just the whole episode being basically being pissed that she's related to Ace now for some reason. We also get Punk Jack coming back into it as an actual person, not just DGP staff. We actually see his human form, like untransformed. His name's Haruya Win, I think. And he's like a punk rock guy. He's got a lot of style to him. I actually kind of like him, but he's Geats' partner. And at one point, he actually has Geats fighting his own, thinking the monsters will take him out, and they don't. And he's been tasked with by Jirori, by the game master, to kind of like basically manipulate and set up Geats to fail so that he can get him kicked out of the DGP and not have him be a threat. Because nobody else seems to be concerned with the DGP itself and trying to figure it out other than Ace. Until later on, I'm sure they'll all eventually start to figure out the conspiracy and what's going on. So yeah. So that's the basic thing there. So we get to see him transform. He uses we get is it Beast or Monster form? Yeah, so Monster Punk Jack Monster form. So that was really cool. Seeing those colors together is really nice. And he fights alongside Geats. I can't remember what the mission like thing is for this one. I know it's them in teams having to fight the Jamato. I can't remember exactly. But anyway, so we do get a cool scene though, where Michinaga kind of starts to really appeal to the Genpen repaint guy, this old man that joins. I think Kilo, I want to say is his rider name, Keilowe or something like that. I don't know for sure. He's the Genpen Owl repaint basically, and he uses propeller because they all get some items that drop. He uses propeller. At first he uses Ninja, but then he swaps it out and uses propeller, and he actually does a pretty good job fighting little old man. Michinaga gets zombie again, and then he swaps it out for Ninja, and uses that one too. So they fight and they get through that round, and we move on past there. So overall, it was really neat to see this new round start up, a couple new characters thrown in. I don't know how long the old man character is really going to stay as part of it. I'd like him to, but I mean, old man characters don't usually stay a long time in any show, regardless of Toku or not. I like the setup for the characters. I like seeing what Ace's new wish was, even though it's more of a troll wish than anything. I like the kind of behind-the-scenes manipulating that you see with Ace, and also with Haruya Win / Punk Jack working with the Game Master to screw over Geats. And that we see Keiwa. So clearly, like, eventually he's going to come back into it, because we know that there's items later on that are... there's a Geats Commander buckle and a Tycoon Commander buckle of some kind. So eventually he's going to come back into it, and then he'll get some of his memories back and what have you. But yeah, so overall, really good episode. I really enjoyed it. I think the action was great. I think the story was good. Character interactions were great. Dialogue was good. I wish that there was a bit more focused on these new people, and it wasn't just like instantly murking one of them in the episode they're introduced. But I also understand it is a battle royale, and they're still trying to hit on that like anybody can be taken out at any time, basically. So it worked for me, but I just wanted a bit more. Score-wise, probably give it somewhere like an 8.5 out of 10. Not as great as last week's episode, but still a pretty good episode. I still really enjoyed it. I just wanted a little bit more, but I didn't hate it for what we got. Yeah, so I think next episode is supposed to be the debut of the Fortune buckle thing that like doubles whatever buckle you already have. Like if you have Magnum, then you have Magnum, or if you have Boost, then you have Boost. I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% on that. But yeah, so we're getting more of that and just more of the new riders, and I think the Jamato riders are supposed to appear as well, because there's a couple lines of dialogue from Jory saying, I didn't plan this, what's going on, how is this happening? So it would seem that the Jamato are some kind of experiment of his that have grown out of his control, because now they've evolved to somehow having the powers of a rider and being able to transform and be stronger. So I like that, though. I like that the threat of the like evil that they're dealing with, which is the Jamato being like the henchmen, are getting stronger. That's really interesting. You don't see that happen a lot in Rider seasons, or even really Sentai. So to see them become more of a threat and be something that more physical, other than, you know, a plethora of other things that the characters have to deal with, is really cool. I really like that a lot. But overall, pretty decent episode. I'm really excited to see where it goes from here. Coming up on the channel for content, Don Brothers episode 37 or wherever we're at review. I just recorded that today. So as we're recording, this is Friday. And along with the Geats one you're watching clearly right now. I'm hoping to do maybe something pretty soon, or maybe a little showcase of some of my recent figure arts that I've gotten, figure arts figures. Yeah, and then I did put up on Twitter, at least, and I get it onto my TikTok and YouTube, my own personal Kamen Rider Geats OC rider, Kamen Rider Uchukudai, his own henshin video, basically, and his own like original pose and everything. It's a shark-based rider, or not shark, I'm sorry, a crocodile-based rider. And I had an ID core made by Desert Fair, who's an amazing artist on Twitter. Check them out. DM them if you want an ID core. If you want Tycoons way before you're ever going to get it retail, that's the person to ask. Check me out on Twitter, as long as the website lasts. Who knows what's happening with Musk. And definitely Henshin's Homies. Check us out there for the podcast there. We have a plethora of guests that we bring on, talk about a bunch of different topics, may it be about certain shows or things from certain shows, suits, helmets, fight scenes, funny moments, scary moments, whatever. Just last night, we just recorded an episode talking about our overall thoughts and impressions about Black Sun. Where the series will go forward in terms of how it might be influenced by how successful Black Sun was. We had our guest Rokusatsu on, who was on last time with a few episodes back with Zio Agato, and we were talking about Don Brothers at the time, up to that point, how good it's been. So check that out. If you want to be on the podcast, you can contact me here on YouTube or through Twitter. You can DM me at RioSoulRiderRed, hooked on Heroes there, or the Henshins and Homies Twitter. You can DM me there as well. If you want to be on the show, it doesn't have to be video and audio. You can just do audio if you want. If you're not comfortable on camera, you don't have a good camera, you don't have a camera at all, audio is just fine. We had a really great voice actor by the name of Daryl J. Delphin who was on, and he was just audio, and it was great. Super entertaining, super awesome, super funny, a great time. If you have topics you'd like to suggest, you can DM me, you message me, you can comment on posts, or just, tweet me, retweet me, at me, whatever. Definitely love to hear the community involvement with that. It gets me really excited. So yeah, check us out there as well. But thank you guys so much for watching, subscribing, for sharing, and all that really good stuff. I really appreciate it. But until next time, stay hooked on them heroes. I'll talk to you later. Bye bye bye. And I'll hopefully be less sick.